Welcome to All About Music. It's a new podcast made with all the heart and all the love for music. Today, we're going to talk about the Bangles. Who are the Bangles? Well, the Bangles are an American all-female pop rock band that formed in Los Angeles, California in 1981. The band recorded several singles that reached the US top 10 during the 1980s, including Manic Monday, Walk Like an Egyptian, Has a Shade of Winter, In Your Room, and Eternal Flame. The band's classic lineup consisted of founding member Susana Hoffs on guitar and vocals, Debbi Petersen, drums and vocals, and Vicki Petersen, guitar and vocals, with Michael Steele, bass and vocals. And the band consisted of Hoffs, Debbi and Vicki Petersen, and founding bassist Annette Zielinska in July 2018. Susanna Hoffs and sisters Vicki and Debbi Petersen had each been in bands before coming together in Los Angeles in December 1980. The impetus was to classify advertisement in the weekly paper The Recycler. One had been placed by Huffs, and the only person to respond was Annette Zielinska, and the other was Lynn Elkin, the Peterson's housemate and departing member of their then band Those Girls. When Huffs called in response to Elkin's ad, Vicki Petersen answered the phone, and in their conversation they discovered a great deal of common interests. When Huffs spoke to Elkin after Peterson gave her the message, they didn't have the same common interests, and Huffs then formed a new band with Peterson's. Those Girls bass guitarist Vicki Petersen left long best friend Amanda Hills and had also left the band. Now a history professor, Amanda Hills Purani has performed as guest with the Bangles a few rare occasions, and this left an opening for Zielinska. The resulting and also current as 2019 lineup first performed as The Colors. Well, the Bangles is the Bangles full-length debut album on Columbia Records All Over the Place in 1984 captured the power pop roots featuring the singles Hero Texas Fall and the Kimberly Few Ripen that Beatles Going Down to Liverpool, originally recorded by Rios band Katrina and the Waves. The record received good reviews, and the video from Liverpool featured Leonard Nimoy, which helped to generate further publicity. This came about through friendship between the Hoffs and Nimoy families. They received a much wider audience, serving as the opening act for Cyndi Lauper on their Fun tour. All this went some way to attracting the attention of Prince, who gave them Manic Monday, originally written for his group Apollonia. Manic Monday went on to become a number 2 hit in the US, the UK, and Germany, outsold at the time only by another Prince composition, His Own Kiss. The band's second album, Different Light, was more polished than its predecessor, and with help of the worldwide number 1 hit Walk Like an Egyptian, written by Liam Sternberg, put the band firmly in the mainstream. The song was sent to them in mid-mission, and the group was divided about whether it could be a failure or success. When the song was released, the group was amazed to discover that it brought them a new audience of female fans, most of them very young. The band had another hit with a remake of Simon and Garfunkel's A Hazy Shade of Winter from the soundtrack of the film Less Than Zero. The song reached number 2 in February 1988. The album Everything 1988 was produced by David Sickerson, as the band had a negative reaction to working with David Kane on Different Light. It was another multi-platinum hit and included the top 5 hit In Your Room, as well as their biggest selling single Eternal Flame. Co-writer Billy Steinberg came up with the title after Hoffs told him about the band's recent trip to Memphis, Tennessee, where they visit Graceland, Elvis Presley's estate. An Eternal Flame maintained Presley's grave. but it had gone out on the day of their visit, and its clear plastic enclosure was flooded. Well, friction arose among band members after music industry media began singling out Hoffs as the lead singer of the group. In fact, singer duties on the band's albums were divided among the band's members, each of whom wrote or co-wrote songs. The band broke up in 1989. Hoffs began a solo career, and Vicki Petersen toured as a member of the Continental Drifters and is as a fill-in member of the Go-Go's. The band started drifting back together in 1998 and officially reformed to record a song for the soundtrack of Austin Powers' The Spy Who Shagged Me, at the behest of the film's director Jay Roach, who had married Hoffs in 1993. The song chosen for the album was Get the Girl and was released in 1999. The reunion continued with a tour in 2000. Later the same year, the group was also inducted into the Vocal Group Hall of Fame. From 2001 to 2002, they were in the studio recording the album Door Revolution at Icon Recording Studios, Hollywood, California. The album, featuring songs like Stealing Rosemary, Ride the Ride, Nickel Romeo, and the single Something That You Said, was released in 2003. The title track, which was written by Elvis Costello, was originally recorded in 2002. The album, When I Was Cruel. Door Revolution was a solid comeback success in Germany after the Bangles had performed in Germany's biggest television show, Wetten das, but failed to make an impact in other markets such as the UK and the US and Australia. 2004, Paul McCartney presented the Bangles with the honorary rock and roll diplomas from his Liverpool Institute of Performing Arts. 2005, the Bangles announced the departure of Michael Steele, who left due to artistic disputes over touring and recording. Steele was replaced by touring bassist Abby Travis for live appearances. On December 31st, 2005, the group performed Hazy Shade of Winter in front of Times Square and later Eternal Flame as part of Dick Clark New Year's Rockin' Eve 2006. Travis was fired in 2008. Now, the discography of the Bangles is all over the place. 1984, Different Like 1986, Everything 1988, Door Revolution 2003, and Sweetheart of the Sun. They had several awards. In 1987, the Brit Awards, Smash Hits Paul Winner's Party, American Video Awards, MTV Music Awards. In 1988, Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Award, Polestar Concert Industry Awards, Smash Hits Paul Winner's Party in 1999, and the 1989, She Rocks Awards in 2015. They were nominated on all those, but they just won in the Brit Awards as Best International Group, and 1987 also in American Video Awards as Best Group Performance, and in 2015 in She Rocks Awards Lifetime Achievement Award. Currently, Susanna Hoffs is part of the Bangles, and she is the lead and harmony vocals, rhythm guitar, Debbi Petersen on drums, backing and lead vocals, acoustic guitar and percussions, Annette Zielinska's bass guitar, harmonica, and Vicki Petersen lead guitar, backing and lead vocals. And the touring musicians, they are like guests, Abby Travis on bass guitar, Larry Anderson on bass guitar in from 2008 to 2016. Abby Travis is from 2005 to 2008. Walker Eilhart on keyboards, and Greg Harpo Hillman keyboards from 1989 and then 1998 until 2011. I definitely like and love how Susanna Hoffs sings. For me, is one of the best female that I can listen to without feeling annoyed and I really love how she is like beautiful and well, not only beautiful but talented, and in the way she interprets and play music. So, well, I guess the bangles and vocals in the Manic Monday song, for me, is one of the best vocal interpretation of a song. Obviously, the whole band, it's great, but I guess the difference between the Peterson sisters and Huffs is that kind of sweet kind of voice she has. And well, every time I see her on videos or listen to her songs, to her voice, I feel totally happy and enjoyed. She, Susanna Hoffs, was born in Los Angeles as Susana Hoffs. She grew up in company of writers, thinkers, painters, and filmmakers with an ever-present soundtrack provided by the Beatles and other artists of the 1960s. The Bay Area music scene was in full bloom during her college years, and Susanna was stirred by the punk rock and new wave movements and was transformed by seeing the last ever Sex Pistols show and the Patti Smith group. Inspired to combine her love for music, theater, and art by starting a band, Hoffs placed an ad in local rag The Recycler, which led her to sisters Vicki and Debbi Petersen, and it was love at first rehearsal. With their unique blend of 16s garage rock, lush harmonies, and jangly guitars, the Bangles became a seminal band of the 80s, platinum-selling albums and string of hit songs cemented their place in music history. In recent years, the Bangles have continued to tour and release records, including 2003 Doll Revolution, in 2011, Sweetheart of the Sun in 2014, Ladies and Gentlemen, the Bangles, and the 2018 Paisley Underground Cup Pro compilation 3x4. As a solo artist, Susanna released 2 solo albums in the 1990s, When You're a Boy in 1991, produced by David Kahn, and as her eponymous 1996 release produced by Joseph Puck. And more recently, she released 2012 Someday. In addition, Sid and Susie, her duo project with Matthew Sweet, has released 3 volumes of their Under the Cover series focused on the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And well, you can see Susanna Hoffs also with Billy Joe Armstrong singing Manic Monday, oh my gosh, Manic Monday on some YouTube, and on a YouTube video. Another side, Vicki Petersen is self-described as the kid who brought the guitar to every sleepover in order to torture everyone with my newest creation. Vicki Petersen began writing songs in elementary school and formed several bands in her youth, culminating in 1981. The bands alongside sister Debbi and singer guitarist Susana Hoffs, which soon became the iconic chart-topping 80s group The Bangles. In the early 90s, Vicki began writing songs with her good friend Susan Causill, the Psycho Sisters, and contributed to tracks by artists including Tom Petty, the Hoodoo Gurus, John Doe, and Belinda Carlisle, as well as replacing a pregnant Charlotte Caffrey on the Goo-Goos from 1984 to 1995 reunion tour. In the late 90s, Vicki moved to New Orleans to be a part of the critically acclaimed songwriters collective Continental Drifters, which included old friends Peter Holsapple and Mark Walton, the Dream Syndicate. Not long afterwards, the Bangles began recording and touring again, releasing 2003's Doll Revolution, 2011 Sweetheart of the Sun, 2014 Ladies and Gentlemen, the Bangles, and 2018 Paisley Underground compilation 3x4, as we said, in Susanna Hoffs. Currently, Vicki released 2014 Psycho Sisters first an almost mythical full-length recording Up on the Chair Beatrice. And in 2017 formed Action School alongside husband Josh Causil and Bill Mummy with releases Angels Here in 2017 and A Different World in 2020. And finally, Debbi Petersen, drummer, vocalist, and guitarist Debbi Petersen began drumming in her sister Vicki's various band at an early age. A natural talent, she only had one formal drum lesson, picking up her craft from watching other drummers and devouring musical voraciously, mostly through her older sister Pam's large record collection. By the time she and Vicki founded the Bangles with guitarist Susanna Hoffs, Debbi was already seasoned pro. Debbi sang lead on the Bangles' breakthrough 1984, going down to Liverpool, and 1989's Be With You, as well as a myriad other tracks in the band's catalog. In addition, Debbi made guest appearances with artists including Elvis Costello, Cyndi Lauper, Tom Petty, The Go-Go's, and Spinal Tap. The 90s, Debbi formed Smashbox with the Go-Go's, Gina Shock, Sarah Lee of the B-52s, and Wendy and Lisa, which eventually became Kindred Spirit, partnership with River City People, Sloan Major. Signed by IRS Records, Kindred Spirit released their debut album in 1992, featuring the well-received single Ask Me No Questions, Here in My Eyes, and Christmas Sun. Since the resurgence of the Bangles in 2000, Debbi has toured and recorded regularly with them, as well as making appearances on other artists' albums and performing live with artists including the much-missed John Wicks Band on their own BOTO and most recently the No Ones. Finally, from their webpage, this information taken by the Wikipedia and their webpage, I can say that according to their page, the Bangles are inarguably one of the greatest female bands of all time. Their sunny harmonies, jangling guitars, and garage rock sensibilities earned them hit after hit, cementing their place in music history. Founded by LA native Susana Hoffs on guitars and vocals, sisters Debbi Petersen and Vicki Petersen on guitar and drums, and bass player Annette Zilinskas. The band first hit the music radar in 1981 as the Banks, holding their own in Los Angeles, paisley underground scene. Annette's departure to headline another group opened the door for former Runaway Michael Steele, who joined the Vanguards just as they signed with CBS Columbia Records to record their major label debut, 1984, All Over the Place, followed by 1986, Multi-Platinum, A Different Light, and 88's Multi-Platinum, Everything. Hit singles, as I said before, Manic Monday, Walking Down Your Street, In Your Room, Hazy Shade of Winter, and the record-setting number ones, Walk Like an Egyptian and Eternal Flame, shot the Bangles to worldwide status on the chart-topping pop princesses of the decade. Although Michael Steele retired from the band in 2005, the Bangles continued the tour to the world, leveraging the talents of guest bassists, including original Banks member Annette Zilinskas and Proto Banks' Those Girls bassist Amanda Hills. And in 2011, Debbi, Vic, and Susanna released the Bangles' sixth studio album, Sweetheart of the Sun. In 2014, they broke out the 80s era rarities compilation, Ladies and Gentlemen, The Bangles. And in 2019, they teamed up with Paisley Underground Charts, The Dream Syndicate, Run Parade, and the 3 O'Clock to release the compilation covers album 3x4. 2020 finds the Bangles continue their legacy of delighting, inspiring, and generation fans worldwide. So, nothing else to say about this wonderful band but to listen to them. And this is the first episode of It's All About Music on the Bangles. It's a pilot, so I can improve, or I should improve many things, but I guess for being the first one, I hope you enjoy this. And if you did, well, just thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time with another. Well, the thing is that I wanted to include music from these artists, but copyright, So see you next time.